Well, I'm Philly Collins.
And I'm Marino Tenaglia.
And we are the Philly and Marino Experience, and you're listening to Wrestling Cheers.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You want to go where you can see that troubles are all the same. You want to go where everybody knows your name. You want to go where you can see that troubles are all the same. You want to go where everybody knows your name.
And welcome back to Wrestling Cheers, where everybody knows your name, even when you're in Akron, Ohio. This is Wrestling Cheers, brought to you by the brand new TrendingTopicsNetwork.com and NEO Sports Insiders. Wrestling Cheers, where we like to talk about things going on in the Northeast Ohio independent wrestling scene. We preview shows, review shows, and sometimes we even have interviews. Please head on over to Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, Spotify, or Podbean, WrestlingCheers.podbean.com. Rate, review, subscribe, like, follow, any of all of that you can do on those sites. Please help out the show. If you want to get a hold of us, we're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Facebook.com/WrestlingCheers, Twitter.com/WrestlingCheers, and Instagram.com/WrestlingCheers. Email, if you so choose to desire, WrestlingCheers@gmail.com. We got a merch store at whatamaneuver.net. This episode, we're still in the middle of the AIW stuff, and you know what? This is going to be a fun show. It's going to be fun for me because I'm only 13 miles away from the venue. It's going to only take about 22 minutes or so to get there, and that is Enter the Dragon this Saturday, March 10th at the Tadmor Shrine, 3000 Krebs Drive in beautiful Akron, Ohio. And we're gonna preview the show this week. So let's get into it. As some of you know, if you don't know, I am your host. I am Heavy Set, and I'm gonna be joined by returning. It's been a while since we heard from him. We have Dustin Alberti.
Hey everyone, I'm here to talk about wrestling in Akron. Not 10 minutes down the street, more like an hour down the road.
Yeah, you're normally fairly close to the shows, and
yeah, it takes about 15 minutes to get there, 15 minutes.
It's not bad. And then there's the other venue location that's close to where Kayden lives, and that's a cue for, we also have Kayden.
Hello. I'm not close to this venue whatsoever. This is like an hour and 20 minutes or something, I think.
I would say you rarely ever come to shows down this way, but you do. It's just been a while. It's been almost 2 years.
Yeah, I think so.
2 years in April, I believe. So this is a special episode where AIW's coming to Akron. This is the debut of AIW in Akron. They said that this is years in the making, and what a way to come into the territory with a certain headliner by the name of Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. You guys,
Pretty's all right.
I was about to say, you guys looking forward to this?
I
am.
I'm excited. I don't do the meet and greets very often. Mostly just because I have a hard time paying money to take a picture with somebody. Just personal beliefs. But I might make an exception for Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Guy's a legend. I love dudes who are like, I really like NWA champions for some reason. I feel like he's pretty legit as far as the legendary matches he had back then. I don't know. I don't do the things like that very much. I'm hoping he actually does something in the ring or something, because dude's still in fantastic condition.
He might do something, but I don't exactly know what. I know when I went to Philly for House of Hardcore and all that, he was a part of their pre-show stuff, and they also did like a convention during the day, and he was one of the main guys there. And he did kind of a small in-ring thing. He came out, I think, at the beginning of the show. He talked a little bit. Very entertaining. Wasn't boring at all. I forget what he did. I mean, I think some wrestlers came out too, and he kind of had a moment, but kind of like, I don't want to say Dennis Stamp without the match, kind of type thing. So I don't really know what to expect from him, but I think that, this is pretty solid. I think that the only person that I think could have topped him, I won't get to the only person, because technically you can come up with a list of names that could top him, but realistically, the name that I wanted, like, I mean, I'm thinking like, okay, if you're going to make an impact at Akron, he has no connection, but I'm like, I don't know. I feel like it would be a big get is Kevin Nash.
It was originally supposed to be Kevin Nash. I'm pretty sure they mentioned that before.
I don't know.
I don't know if it was supposed to be Kevin Nash. Things kind of fell through. I don't remember what happened exactly, but they went with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. I'm pretty sure they've mentioned it before, so I don't feel bad saying it.
Well, I did know that. But when I was actually asked, like, who would be a good name to bring to Akron for the first show, that's who I thought of. I wasn't sure if that would translate well, because I looked at it too. Technically, Nash has been in Northeast Ohio before, but granted, that was like 2011, and people have become fans since now and then. Me particularly, it was right before I became a fan. I was watching footage of him that happened after the fact. I mean, that was aired after the fact. So I totally missed out on that, and I thought he would have been perfect. Then I did happen to hear the story that Kevin Nash was the original idea. I'm like, wow. If we could get him eventually, I think that would be awesome, because that's definitely one of my favorite wrestlers when I was really young. I think I liked all the wrestlers of the clique minus 1, 2, 3 Kid, X-Pac. I mean, I didn't hate him, but I held the rest of them higher. Actually, no, not as much Triple H either, but Shawn Michaels, Diesel / Kevin Nash, Razor Ramon / Scott Hall, and we've already got Scott Hall, and I thought that was awesome. How about you, Kayden? Tell us about your memories of Ricky the Dragon Steamboat from WrestleMania versus Chris Jericho.
I have actually met Steamboat before. This was a couple years ago. That's not going to stop me from probably meeting him again, because he's fantastic.
Was NEW?
Yes.
Okay. On a side note, I can't wait till they announce what their card's going to be for this year when they come to, see, that's Niles.
Yeah.
Because they always seem to have like a good card of, your bigger legends and everything. And they have, I know, a handful of other people, more independent wrestlers, and
it's a good mix of people.
And they haven't even announced anything yet, and I'm already going, okay, just tell me a date so I can
at least just give me a date so I can plan for this.
Especially because like 2 years ago, I found out the date, and it was the same day as one of my friends was getting married in New York. I think the funny thing was he's a wrestling fan too, and I sent him a picture of the flyer, and he's like, "Oh, that's awesome!" And I'm like, "Look at the date." He goes, "Oh no," and I'm like, "No, I'm going to your wedding. Like I told you, I'm coming." Just bad timing. And then last year, I was planning on going and staying the whole show, but my girlfriend wanted me to go to a concert with her that night in the Kent area. And I was like, well, I kind of just want to go there to meet the people. It sucks I'm not going to see the show, but at least if I got that, I can do best of both worlds. And obviously, you had Team Storm there. You had, I can't think of their names. The Kingdom. You had the Kingdom there, and a couple other good independent wrestlers. I think Man Scott was there too.
I think he's always on those shows, but still.
Yeah.
It's cool getting to see him.
Yeah. So if they could just give me a date, I'll go. So anyway.
No town announcement, just give me a date.
Yeah. But we have this show. We have Enter the Dragon, like I said, with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. It is a 7:30 bell time. Meet and greet will be at 6 o'clock though. And we said at the Tennille Dashwood at, We've Got a Dilemma, it was right around 6. And by the sounds of all the stuff they had to go through for that show, like how late, or the problems with the ring, that's pretty good. Matches we have for this show that have been announced: Dr. Daniel C. Rockingham versus Kevin Thorne, Karen Q versus Britt Baker, DJ Z versus Trey Lamar, Eddie Kingston versus Dominic Guarini, Josh Prohibition versus Joshua Bishop, The Production versus Weird World and the Philly Marino Experience, and your tag team title match, Twins versus Big Twan Tucker and Parker Pierce. Normally with these shows, we do, haha, for those sophomore people out there. But we normally pick 3 matches, and I'll be honest, 100% honest, it's kind of harder with this card. We have some students kind of having their own, I wouldn't necessarily dream match, but they're a little bit random. DJ Z versus Trey Lamar, Dr. Daniel C. Rockingham versus Kevin Thorne. We do got a little bit of backstory on Josh Prohibition and Joshua Bishop, so that is one we're going to talk about, but we're only going to talk about 2. Also, I mean, we'll talk about it towards the end, but I don't really want to dedicate a lot of time to talking about the production, because I know we've done that to death, and we've actually spent a lot of time talking about Dom to death. And, they'll get their spots at the end of the show, but we're not going to spend as much time as we would, and we're just going to concentrate on the 2 matches. And also a programming note: if everything goes correct, cross your fingers. I did mention how at We've Got a Dilemma, or at the last week's show, the review show, that I was supposed to have an interview with Magnum CK. But he broke his nose, had to go off to the emergency room. So I got a rain check, and the interview is currently planned and currently scheduled for before the show on Saturday. So if that gets done, I'm going to release a bonus episode, like Sunday or Monday, and it'll be the interview. And also, a side note, this was something that came up on Twitter. Like while I'm planning all this interview stuff, I was like, you know what? Like I said, I live about 22 minutes, 13 miles away from the venue. I don't know what's exactly going on with the after party stuff, but I'm like, you know what? Have a couple people come over after the show and we'll get the review done out of the way. It's not thinking of like, okay, this was 4 days ago. Let's remember what the show was like. No, we're going to do a couple hours later and we'll see how that transitions. Well, I tweeted out for my personal account, like, hey, I'm thinking about doing a review show after the show at my apartment. AIW actually spoke up and said something. They said, well, hold that thought as Steve Guy is working on securing an after party, so maybe we can just do it live right there. So there might be a review show at the after party. I'm gonna have all my equipment there, so I can set up depending on the venue, which we don't have as of this recording, we do not have a venue of where the after party is. Odds are, by the time this show gets posted, it will be announced, I'm guessing. So be on the lookout for where exactly it is. But hey, it's a very possibility that we're going to be set up. So with all that said, and also, because we haven't got to talk about it as much, and since the last episode, we've had 2 big announcements for the next 2 shows. How you guys feeling about Gauntlet for the Gold 13? And we actually have a name for the 420 show. It's not up in smoke, surprisingly. It's Ain't Nuthin' But a Gangster Party. Gauntlet for the Gold is going to feature a meet and greet from WWE Hall of Famer Jeff Jarrett, and Ain't Nuthin' But a Gangster Party will feature, I want to get his real name, I believe, Charles White? Or Charles Wright?
Correct.
Charles Wright. Papa Shango, Godfather, Goodfather, Kama Mustafa, whatever you want to call him, the Supreme Fighting Machine. How you guys feeling about that?
Love it. Love it.
Yeah, can't go wrong with The Godfather, and I know that the Jeff Jarrett thing is years and years in the making. I remember, I think it was Gauntlet for the Gold 2 or 3 years ago. I don't remember what it was, but there were plans to have him as a actual surprise entrant in the Gauntlet for the Gold.
Wow.
It was a while ago. He was going to be a surprise entrant. They weren't going to announce him or anything. And it fell through for some reason. I don't know. I just remember Biggins telling me it. Sometimes Biggins just like to tell me things that weren't true just to kind of get me worked up. But I believe him there where he told me that he would have been a surprise entrant. But, you know.
It's like you don't know whether he was telling you just to rile you up or he was like telling you something like, hey, we tried and it just didn't work out.
Yeah, he always liked to like, he would always like give me like, he'd be like, Alberti, I got a question. I'd be like, yeah, you go. We got Johnny Gargano and Kevin Steen tag teaming up. Who do you think would be a good tag team? And then like he'd give me he'd be like, just regular tag teams. Then I remember, and this is exactly how it was. It was like 2 tag teams. Like, let's just say like, what do you think about like them versus like Dustin Linden, or what do you think of them? Or no, it was originally like Ethan Page and Linden, and he's like, what about like the Motor City Machine Guns? I was like, wait a minute. Like he literally named like, not necessarily like run-of-the-mill tag teams, but like tag teams that they normally book. And he's like, or what about like Kevin Steen and Johnny Gargano versus the Motor City Machine Guns?
Kind of like, okay, do you want to see Panda Express versus Linden and Kendrick, or Fruth and Winners, or Motor City Machine Guns?
Yeah, exactly.
Which one of these is not like the other?
He'd do that all the time.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he was just messing with me saying that he originally was going to be a surprise entrant, or if it was actually a true thing.
Well, how about you, Kayden? How you feel about these?
Both these meet and greets are going to be fantastic. I know the Godfather Papa Shango one was announced on AIW's podcast. Like,
we had it announced that he was going to be there without a show title.
Yeah, his meet and greet was announced before the show title or show just anything was really announced.
We knew the date, and he was going to be there, and that was it. Because I think they mentioned the 420 show.
Yeah, it's literally all we knew.
Which I haven't even got a chance to change it to my phone yet, because I've had 420 show for like a couple months in my phone. As I try to plan out what episodes will go where on the calendar. Like, okay, if we have a show on this date, gotta have the preview show out, then review show out, then try to figure out where the dates in the middle to have those filled up. So I was like, okay, just 420 show. Man, I think I wrote an AIW 420. I'm looking forward to Jarrett. As soon as I seen it on Instagram, I think my initial reaction was a verbal, and I was alone, was a verbal, oh shit. Like,
that's one of the bigger surprises in terms of meet and greets.
Like, I'm not a huge Jeff Jarrett fan, but I will admit, I really love his original TNA theme. That's like one of the handful of, I think, gems that TNA has put out when it comes to themes. I mean, there's plenty others too, but if I compare them to WWE, like it's barely anything. But love that theme. I think not too long ago they released Jeff Jarrett's actual theme, which they never did, on one of the Uncaged albums, and that is such a weird kind of song. Everybody for the past couple weeks has had With My Baby Tonight in their head. So that's kind of cool to have this right on the heels of it. And then I'm probably in the minority, but I associate the strut more with Jeff Jarrett than I do Flair, because I seen Jeff Jarrett in WWE first, and I know and I actually kind of prefer his.
I love his strut. I was going to say, I don't necessarily, when I think of strutting, I automatically go to Ric Flair, but I think that his cocky strut is one of the best, and he ends it with the double peace signs. Mm-hmm. It's fantastic.
Yes. I vividly remember the light up Double J outfits. I remember, some of the things that they'd had set up for him, to make him this big country star. I think we're going to see Tennessee Lee, because that would be kind of cool.
I could see it.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it would be a good addition, and it would definitely be an AIW thing to do.
Oh, if we could get it like some sort of thing with like a rematch, Mance Warner versus Jock, and then maybe you have, because Jock's connection to the stud stable from previously, well, you have Tennessee Lee. You have Jeff Jarrett. I mean, if it's just for like one moment, if Jeff Jarrett actually does something. But it just maybe even have a photo op with Jeff Jarrett and Tennessee Lee, and then have, Colonel Robert Parker, Tennessee Lee with Jock for that. I think it'd be kind of fun. So those are two things that we have coming up. Both shows are going to be at Our Lady of Mount Carmel. Gauntlet for the Gold 13. That's later this month. That's March 23rd. And obviously we've mentioned it already. Ain't Nothing But a Gangster Party. That is 420. That church is going to smell so much like weed. Something we didn't touch on. If we thought that church hated us then, or recently, they're going to hate us on 420. Because I know I don't smoke weed, and I don't think any of us smoke weed. I'm sure Kayden doesn't. I don't think you do either.
It's bad. Don't do it.
I do not know.
Which brings us to a good point. Kayden, don't drink. Bad.
It's also bad.
Yeah, Kayden. I'm here to tell you that drinking will ruin your life. If you want to be Adam Laporta, you can start drinking. I'm telling you. Adam Laporta, he's a, what's the word I'm looking for? He's a
guy who never gets back to me on trying to get him on the Gauntlet for the Gold episode?
No. He's a warning. What is it? Like, well, he's a warning story. Whatever those things are. I can't remember what the word I'm looking for is.
Caution?
Yeah, it's like a caution tale or something like that. One of those things. I don't know. I drink
words.
I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Words.
So yeah, those are two of the next shows coming up. And then we haven't really talked about it, but I don't think there's really much to talk about it. But there was the announcement for the JLIT tournament. It's obviously the same weekend that it always is. It's Memorial Day weekend, Friday, May 25th, and Saturday, May 26th. And then we have the introduction, no more Back to the Future Cup, but we have the Chandler Biggins Memorial Tag Team Tournament 2018, and that would be on Saturday, March 26th. 3 o'clock bell time for the tag tournament, and the JT Lightning tournament, regular 7:30. So it's going to be fun when they start having the official JLIT announcements. Because that's 24 people that they have to announce. And then they start announcing the matches.
Plus the tag teams that are going to be announced for
Yeah.
I think that there's going to be a lot of fun stuff. I'm hoping for a lot of fun stuff, which I don't know why I'm hoping. I'm sure there will be a lot of very fun stuff that weekend.
I mean, the JT Lightning Invitational Tournament weekend stuff, always fun. I miss the Fan Fest, kinda. I don't miss spending $270 for a date with Veda Scott, but...
Fucking dork.
Even I'm not that bad.
Yeah, but, well, compare that to what you and your grandpa spend Shimmer weekend.
Yeah, but, they're not spending Shimmer weekend to go on a fake date with somebody.
It went towards
and they're going on, a trip.
I mean, I'm figuring the money went back to AIW, or at least most of it.
It did. I mean, don't get me wrong. It
went to a good cause.
The money definitely went to go pay for things, but you paid to sit at a table and go on a fake date with a wrestler.
The highlight of it, though, was when they turned it into multiple dates. And Jimmy Jacobs is a man that I would love to actually get a chance to sit down and just talk to. Because I've said it before, he's so fluid when he speaks. And we were having a conversation, and Jim, who won the date with Heidi, he works at a movie theater. He said, hey, what's your favorite movie? And Jimmy Jacobs heard that, and he's like, no, don't. And I know I've told this story before, but it is one of my favorites. Like, no, don't ask a question. Tell somebody, give someone a statement, and they will be implored to respond back. And it's like, oh my God, that's such a good fucking point. That his advice alone is like, I can only imagine other things he has in his head.
Yes, have a conversation on the date. It's a very, it's a crazy concept.
But I'm talking about that kind of thinking.
Instead of asking a question.
Yeah.
Making a statement.
Yeah.
You hear that, Kayden? When you go on dates, make sure to make statements. Don't ask questions. Be like, bitch, you are paying for this dinner.
I don't think we're gonna do that.
I'm telling you, man. That's the go-to line. Bitch, you're paying for this.
Real sure that's bad. We don't do
100%. 100% works. 100%.
What you're supposed to do is pay for their movie.
I'm married. I know how this stuff works.
You have a point. I'm married. You go, bitch, buy me the steak.
Anyway, let's get into the actual show. And let's start off with a match that was slightly touched upon at We've Got a Dilemma. Well, the seeds were planted. Joshua Bishop versus Joshua Prohibition. I think Josh is going to win. I don't know about you guys.
Yes. 100% chance that Josh comes out with this thing.
What do you think, Kayden?
Josh is definitely winning.
There it is. So, I don't know if you guys noticed, but earlier tonight, one Josh Prohibition decided that he would make a little trip to the AIW Academy, and guess who was not there?
Oh.
Joshua Bishop, again, was not at training, which is kind of what started this whole feud.
Do we know why he's not there, though?
Do we know why? He's not going to tell us. He already told us he's not going to tell us why he wasn't there. He wasn't there.
He must have a good reason, then.
I don't know, man. Josh Prohibition is he's a bit of a purist when it comes to wrestling, and if you're going to be training, he wants you at training. And if he's been there twice and he wasn't there at all, and he went there specifically for him the first time, that's just disrespectful. Disrespectful.
Yeah, in the picture, Frankie Flynn, Dominic Guarini, Dr. Daniel C. Rockingham, PME, a guy I don't really know his name, and John Thorne. Who's the guy that I'm missing? I've seen him before.
Give me 1 second. I'll pull the picture up and see if I can figure it out.
You know who's not?
No, I don't know his name. I don't think he's debuted yet, has he?
No.
Sometimes
people know his name. I figure. Well, if anybody knew him, it might be Kayden.
Nope.
Yeah.
I've seen him, don't know him.
Yeah. I don't see a single member of No Consequences there. Surprise, surprise.
I don't see Weird World there.
Well, they're doing a comedy show tonight.
I know, that's why I mentioned it.
They're making their rounds. They're doing their due diligence to help sell the show on Saturday night.
Yeah, part of the Mike Polk Jr. show live. But we're not there. We're doing this show for you, the fans. You're welcome.
We're doing the Lord's work.
So, Josh Prohibition and Josh Bishop, to make sure I don't say the wrong name and just say the first name twice. I believe this was supposed to happen after Absolution, but J-Pro kind of took some time away. I'm sort of happy he did, because instead of having it be, Joshua Bishop's like third or fourth match, now we have it so far in. We have no consequences. They mean a little bit more than they did at that point. And now we get to see old Josh and new Josh. What are your thoughts on this, Kayden?
Just on like the 2-ish weeks build they have for this, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. One thing because I love a good Josh Prohibition promo, even though he does cut ones as long as Magnum CK, but Dustin probably doesn't, realize that. But there was a transition in the promo. It was like, oh, look at Joshua Bishop, and you thought like, oh, he's putting him over. Then all of a sudden, slowly but surely, you see the turn of it, where it's just like, I'm not putting you over. I'm putting you up on your pedestal, and then I'm about to yank you down from it. And that's what I loved about it.
Yeah,
it went from up here like, yeah, to nope, get down.
Yep.
Yeah, it was cool. It was a, you think this is why I'm doing this? No. This is why I'm doing this. And it was a good twist that you wouldn't necessarily expect. And
with this match, which was announced on the AIW podcast, there will not be a Bishop Brigade. We finally get a show in the Dirty 330. No Bishop Brigade. It's kind of sad.
I'd go to Disney. I'd rather go to Disney than watch my son get murdered by an old man as well. Josh Prohibition is gonna murder Josh Bishop, and like I said, family would probably rather go see Mickey Mouse.
But Mickey
Mouse is a lot happier.
But Mickey Mouse
way happier.
Mickey Mouse is going to be there today, tomorrow, next month, next year. The park is still going to smell the same. They're still going to have the underground tunnels there. All the fun things of Disney still going to be there. But Joshua Bishop might not be here after Saturday.
That's good possibility.
So you'd figure they would at least want to get their last goodbyes in.
Yeah, they're saying goodbye. We're going to Disney. Again, not a bad thing.
Let's transition on to the tag title match. AIW tag team titles on the line. Twins versus Big Twan Tucker and Parker Pearson. Before we go any further, let's get into some promos that were released during the day of this recording. And I will admit, I'm pretty impressed with Big Twan Tucker and Parker Pierce. So let's go into that, and then let's go into what PB Smooth had to say.
You see, now ever since myself and Big Twan here found out that we're wrestling for the AIW Tag Team Championship belts against the Twins at Enter the Dragon, March 10th in Akron, we've been taking our training a lot more serious. No more games for us. That means no more frat parties, no more pong, no nothing. Just straight drinking. This right here is Laura, our personal trainer. She's keeping the drinks coming all night long for us and making sure we're ready to whoop that ass. Thank you. No. What you doing? You see that PB Smooth and Swaggle? We're taking the AIW Tag Team Championship no matter what. So you better stay woke and into the dragon.
So I normally don't do this, cutting promos in cars, because I think it comes off kind of lazy. But there's something I want to share with you guys. So I get a Snapchat from Parker Pierce and Big Twan talking about how they're going to take the belts on Saturday, how they're going to beat the hell out of me and Swaggle. And Big Twan has this thing about telling everybody to stay woke. Dog, it's 4:45 in the morning, and I'm outside my gym right now waiting to get in, just so I can put in this work. And where are you right now? Probably hungover from the bar you guys were Snapchatting me from. You see, some of us take this seriously, and I'm gonna show you just how seriously I take this when I knock you on your ass on Saturday. Call the coroner, because I'm fresh to death.
So we got a little bit of different side of Parker Pierce and Big Twan. I like this. I'm really interested in this tag team. Ever since, Parker Pierce has debuted, I feel like he's been, I like the character, but it was missing something. You add Big Twan Tucker, and I like these two together. I feel like Parker Pierce helped bring out a little bit more personality from Big Twan. And I thoroughly enjoyed that little promo. And then you have, PB Smooth going low budget, just in his car before he goes to the gym. But it was still a good response.
Or he goes to the gym at 5 in the morning.
I think we talked about this, but we talked about this off air last episode that we don't think PB Smooth sleeps.
I used to not sleep, so I could see it happening. I mean, I feel like if I had the lifestyle where I could not sleep again, I could do it again.
I like sleep way too much for that shit.
Yeah, sleep is good.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I get as much sleep as possible now, but back in the day, if I got a good 3 hours, I was good.
Never. If I got 3 hours, then I'm in a bad mood. Or just if I got 3 hours of sleep, that would have been a nap that I was extremely happy about. But if that was...
I got a decent nap.
I think it was the first National Pro Wrestling Day.
Oh, God. The one that I was supposed to go to.
Me and Adam Laporta drove down to Philadelphia together. I had woken up that morning to go to work at 6 in the morning. I went to bed at 2 in the morning, so I got 4 hours of sleep. I worked all day. I worked a double so I could get the days off for National Pro Wrestling Day. Picked up Adam Laporta, drove straight to Philadelphia, went to all day of National Pro Wrestling Day, both shows, went out to dinner afterwards. We crashed at a couple fans who were nice enough to let us crash at the hotel. We got to the hotel probably around, I guess 1. Probably fell asleep around 2. We were up by about 5, left the hotel before anybody else woke up, and then drove straight back to Cleveland. So I got probably in 48 hours, 5 hours of sleep, roughly.
I think the only time that I've matched that was I was up for 30 hours, and that was horrible. I woke up at a regular time on whatever day it was of the week. I think it might have been a Thursday or Friday. I had a bunch of stuff to do during the day, and then at night I was leaving with my ex for Myrtle Beach with her family. We were going on a week vacation. Was supposed to get some sort of nap in there that day. Didn't, and we actually left late at 1 o'clock, and I drove pretty much straight down. I mean, we stopped restroom breaks and get a bite to eat, but no sleeping. And then after being up, I think 28 or 29 hours, we finally get there. And then as soon as we get everything unpacked and everything, it starts hitting me. I'm like, I gotta go lay down. And I slept. I slept so good after that. But yeah, I have to get something. Especially now. But PB Smooth, who doesn't seem to sleep a lot. PB Smooth, Hornswoggle. I mean, obviously, I like these guys as a tag team, too. I kind of think they're going to hold the titles for a while, but I do like the emergence of this tag team. What do you guys think?
Great teamwork out of both of them. I think that it works a lot. It works more than just, look at the dynamic of these two guys who are so different. I think that it's turning into a legitimate tag team that's not just a gimmick, which is kind of what you think when you first look at them or hear about them. You think it's just a gimmick, but they actually work really well together as a tag team.
How about you, Kayden?
From what I've seen, I enjoy them. Still newish, but I like them.
Also, so after watching the Parker Pierce Big Twan promo, how did Big Twan get into the bar? Big Twan is definitely not old enough to be at the bar. I'm just pointing that out there. I mean, it's one thing to be bonging beers at the frat house with Parker Pierce at 18 years old at college. Not necessarily saying that I think that underage kids should be drinking. I'm not condoning it in any way, shape, or form. But it's one thing to be doing it at the frat house, bonging a beer with your frat bros. But how did Big Twan get in the bar? Just saying. Doesn't seem...
Walked in the front door.
I mean, I saw he definitely walks in the front door. But come on, guys. Do we not ID anymore? What if an officer of the law walked into the bar at that moment? We're all into a lot of trouble. Why are we trying to ruin people's lives? Underage kids, please think before you act.
I mean, you can still be underage and go into certain bars. At
certain times. You actually, I think it's after 10 o'clock. If you're under the age of 21, you're not allowed to be in a bar. I don't know exactly what I think it has to do with the type of kitchen it is. If it's an Applebee's, obviously you can be there. But if it's a bar, you can't go to a bar if it's after, I think it's either 9 or 10 o'clock.
Well, what bar was that at? Do you know?
I don't know. No,
I mean, if
but
they-
it definitely wasn't like an Applebee's or
It wasn't, but if it has a kitchen.
TGI Fridays. No, because like just because the bar has it's not necessarily if the bar has a kitchen. I know there's like if it's like a bar and grill. I don't know how it is. I just know that like if you're under the age of 21 after 10 o'clock, you're not supposed to be in bars or something like that. I don't know. I don't know the laws, man. I just know they exist.
Well, look at Nax. They never like ID'd people. They served food.
Yeah. And I'm not going to come on here and say that people should have been ID'd, but, you know, life, man. Life. I'm not going to narc, but life.
All I know is I was in certain bars underage. And yeah, I think certain ones I didn't know the owners. But maybe think about it like this, too. He could have been allowed in because he was the designated driver. We don't see Big Twan drink.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm just saying, how did he get into the bar? Why was this guy not ID'd at the door?
Because, like I said,
What kind of establishment are they going to?
maybe one where the kitchen's open. We don't know what time the video was shot either.
Honestly, I can tell you what kind of establishment they went to. They went to an establishment where the bartender literally poured a beer bong for a patron. I have been to some shady bars, shady local bars, and I've never been to a bar where the bartender's like, oh yeah, sure, I'll pour this beer into this beer bong for you. That's the type of bar they were at. Never mind. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I have to suspend my disbelief for people actually being in a bar at this point.
But then again, we don't know what time that was shot.
It was definitely dark outside.
It's definitely dark, but that's 8, 9 o'clock.
You act like it's winter in Ohio when it gets dark early.
It's getting away from that as much. It's not as dark, but still, we don't know what time.
Look, guys, beginning and Twins wins. It's that simple.
Well, we don't go over winners yet. We just talk about the match.
Twins wins simple.
Oh, do you want to take some time to make sure everybody gets the reference?
Yes, guys. It was quickly glanced over. Twins is a reference to the Danny DeVito, Arnold Schwarzenegger comedic classic, Twins, where Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger play twins. You know, Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger did 2 fantastic comedies together, Twins and Junior. And if you haven't gone out of your way to see them, I highly suggest going out of your way to see both.
I haven't seen either of them.
Justin Summers, you need to go out of your way to see both. Kayden, I'm just going to assume you've seen neither. You also need to go out of your way to see both.
Did you just assume movies he hasn't seen?
Offended.
Triggered.
Kayden, have you seen Junior or Twins?
I have not.
See?
Actually, I think that
I'm not assuming. I'm just knowing. Because first of all, I haven't seen either of these movies in forever. But I can tell you they're both hilarious.
Yeah. Did you even know that Twins was an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, Kayden?
No, I didn't.
Do you not know because it's not a wrestling movie, or do you not know much about wrestling movies either?
I don't
It's
know much about
disrespectful.
wrestling movies either.
That's disrespectful.
I was about to say, have you seen No Holds Barred?
No, I've seen Ready to Rumble though. That counts.
Ready to Rumble's a great movie. Have you seen The Wrestler?
Yes, I have.
That's a good movie, too. A good movie.
Have you seen Wrestling with Shadows?
No.
That's more of a documentary than a movie.
Oh,
Let's
still
slow down.
still a movie.
Yeah, so is Beyond the Mat, but I'm not going to count it as a wrestling movie. It's a documentary.
I
A
don't-
wrestling documentary is different than a wrestling movie.
This is like our Johnny Cash conversation. Is Johnny Cash rock and roll or Johnny Cash country?
Johnny Cash's country. We've gone over this. I'm right, you're wrong. No,
I don't. Yeah, not really.
Johnny Cash is a goddamn country western artist.
No, he's country, not western.
This goddamn country western artist.
He was rock when rock had that sound. He was rockabilly. Actually, that was the
Goddamn.
credit. He was rockabilly.
Goddamn country western artist.
Rockabilly. He's in the Rock Hall. His bus is parked out front.
He's in the country music hall of fame.
Yes.
You know who's not in the country music hall of fame? TLC. You know who's in the rock and roll hall of fame? TLC. They're actually not in it, but they are featured in it. Let me rephrase TLC. But there are plenty of non-rock and roll musicians in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. There aren't many non-country music musicians in the country music hall of fame.
Well, when you're a part of a genre called rockabilly, means you come from a subgenre that borrows something from rock, but also borrowed from country. There's a nice long bit of silence that's going to get cut out.
I just refuse to to have this argument. Johnny Cash is a country artist.
He was rock.
He's good. That's it.
Especially with actually, if you want to go back to Sun Records that he was on, Elvis was on there. Jerry Lee Lewis was on there. They're rock and roll.
It says it right here. Primarily remembered as a country music icon.
Primarily remembered. That doesn't... Okay.
As a country music icon.
Babe Ruth is...
That's not to say he didn't do other type of genre type music, but he is a country music icon.
Babe Ruth is remembered for being a freaking, I think,
baseball player?
I'm saying outfielder, but he was a pitcher, too. Where you got to start.
Yeah, but that's not at all the same thing. You look at him as a baseball player. He's in the Baseball Hall of Fame. He's not in the Pitcher Hall of Fame. He's not in the Outfielder Hall of Fame. He's in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
But what I'm saying, what remembered as.
He's remembered as a dude who hit a ball. Nobody cares about him as a pitcher or an outfielder.
Actually, that is true. He's remembered for hitting, not pitching, but he did it.
I'm just saying, man. It's the writing's on the wall. Twins wins. I don't know why I'm going back to it. Let's go, guys.
Any more thoughts on that?
Of the match or the fact that Johnny Cash is country music?
Do you wanna finish reading that sentence because that you stopped at a comma? Although primarily remembered as a country music icon, his genre...
Justin Summers, anybody go on Wikipedia and read this. Anybody go on Wikipedia and read this.
His genre-spanning
I don't think you understand how sentences and commas work.
And sound embraced rock and roll, rockabilly, blues, folk, and gospel, which I think when we had this conversation, I said that to you, and I forgot about it.
I understand this, but what's the first thing they say? Country music icon.
Remembered.
No one's standing here saying rock and roll icon. No one's over here saying gospel icon. No one's over here saying rockabilly icon. He's in the country music icon.
He's in the Gospel Music Hall of Fame.
Much like future Hall of Famer Jeff Jarrett, country music icon.
Genre spanning. That's all I'm gonna say.
If you guys have anything to add to this, please come to @WrestlingCheers, tag @RevTintin, tag @HeavySet330. Please, let's hear everybody else's thoughts about how.
Don't tag me. I have no part in this.
I didn't add Kayden because Kayden, I feel like he has no dog in the fight, even though I'm pretty sure he agrees with me.
I have no part in this. I mean, you.
Yeah, well, I think I'll have to ask El Hordano Diablo. He's a Johnny Cash fan too. See what he thinks. Or hit us up @WrestlingCheers or @RevTintin or RevTintin. I always say Rev because I have a friend named Rev. RevTintin or @HeavySet330. Twitter handles are in the show notes of the show as always. So Twins win.
Twins wins.
Even though we don't do that right now. All right, let's cover the rest of the card real quick and pick some winners. We will start with Dr. Daniel C. Rockingham versus Kevin Thorne. Kevin Thorne making his return to AIW since JLIT last year, going up against Dr. Dan himself. No Brian Carson. I believe he is taking a little hiatus. I don't know if he's going to be at the show or not. Part of me says maybe, but I have no clue whatsoever. And we found out on the AIW podcast this week that Kevin Thorne actually has family in the Wadsworth area. Not Matthew Wadsworth or Matt Wadsworth, but Wadsworth right around, Barberton and the Akron area. So that's kind of cool. God. How bad is Dr. Dan going to get killed in this?
Hot take. Dr. Dan is going to get his dick put in the dirt. Kevin Thorne is going to demolish him. It's going to be a bloodbath. It is going to be a very uncomfortable thing to watch. I enjoy Dr. Dan. I feel like he's a great man. But that being said, Kevin Thorne is a very jacked man. Jacked man. And yes, Dr. Dan is going to get his dick put in the dirt.
So Kevin Thorne wins.
Yeah, that's what I took from that. Kevin Thorne wins via murder.
Very close to murder.
No, we said Kevin Thorne, not Nick Gage.
Yeah, all right, give us Kevin Thorne versus Nick Gage. Let's see what happens.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Who's your pick, Kayden?
I'm also going to go with Kevin Thorne.
Yeah, we'll go clean sweep on this one. I'm going to also go Kevin Thorne.
Sorry, Dan.
I expect Dr. Dan to die again. At least there should be toilet paper to wrap his dead body in. So at Gauntlet for the Gold, be on the lookout for Dr. Dan dressed as the Yeti.
The Yeti.
Disrespectful.
All right, next we have Karen Q versus Britt Baker. And one reason why we didn't cover this match is because, well, we don't have much to say about Karen Q.
Karen Q was on GNO once. She's good.
Yeah.
There's just nothing to really talk about.
She's definitely a female. She's going up against another female that we do see more often. And you know what I'm gonna say, guys? I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I'm gonna say Karen Q's gonna get the win.
Oh.
And Britt Baker's gonna go on a bit of a losing streak.
I don't know if you know
Putting
this.
it out there.
I don't know if you know this or not, Dustin. You're not supposed to assume genders. We don't know if Karen Q is a woman or not.
If you're on a show called Girls Night Out, I'm going to assume you are a girl, okay? I'm not here assuming genders. I'm not here trying to hurt people's feelings.
I mean, Ethan...
Yeah, snowflakes over here.
I mean,
2018.
Assuming genders. If you're on a show called Girls Night Out, you're a girl. It's how it works. Unless, of course, it's like the Jollyville Fuckets when they were the tag champs and they put titles on the line against
I was about to say Ethan Page.
Heidi and Antisocial, which is a completely different thing because it was a mixed tag match. We knew that they were not a girl or an intergender tag match. I'm sorry, because we don't mess with that mixed bullshit. We knew that they were guys and they were girls. We didn't assume the gender. It was told to us. If you're on Girls Night Out, you're a girl.
I mean, Battle of the Sexes did have a woman versus a woman match.
There's nobody assuming any gender when it's Battle of the Sexes. It could be any gender. It could be any sex. And at that point, you can't assume people's genders because it's a Battle of the Sexes. When there's sexes, it could be any member of the LGBTQ plus, and I think there's another letter now. I can't remember what it is. There's a new letter that just got added like a few weeks ago. I don't know how it all works out.
Pluto?
I just read things. I don't know. Or straight. You could be anything when it comes to Battle of the Sexes. That's a gender fluid event.
I'm gonna pick Karen Q.
Go with Britt Baker.
Oh, come on, Kayden. You gotta jump on that Karen Q bandwagon.
Next up, we have DJZ versus Trey Lamar.
There's going to be flips.
There'll be many flips. I'm going to go Trey. I would figure we might have a couple more members of No Consequences at this show that aren't in matches. And I mean, we could also have matches unannounced. AIW's been really good about that lately, so we'll see. But I kind of see Chase Oliver, being in this corner. So I'm actually going to give the advantage to Trey Lamar and give him the win. What do you guys think? Start with Kayden.
Assuming Chase is at ringside, I'm going with Trey. If not, I think Zima's going to win. It literally depends on if Chase is there or not.
Did you just assume Chase is natural?
Lots of assuming on this show tonight. Lots.
I'm going to go DJZ on this one. These kids don't know.
Next up, we have Eddie Kingston versus Dominic Garrini. Dom always, I've called him, big match Dom. This is definitely gonna be one of those hard hitting matches, Eddie Kingston, and depending on what type of Eddie we get, and you know what, I'm gonna think Dom's gonna go back on his winning ways, and I'm gonna go for Dom.
I'm also gonna go with Dom, and this match is going to be very, very, very hard hitting. I am excited about this.
I agree. It will be very hard hitting, and I am going to make it a clean sweep, and we will stick with Dom winning this one as well.
Josh Prohibition versus Joshua Bishop.
Old man Prohibition is going to put young man Bishop in his place, and he's going to teach him a thing or two about professional wrestling.
How about you, Kayden?
I think Bishop might actually get the upset here.
I don't agree. Maybe via No Consequences, but something.
Sooner or later, there will be consequences.
And I think we could possibly see these guys pop their head in. The Production versus Weird World and the Philly Marino Experience. We've talked a lot about the Production in the past couple months. We're going to hear from Magnum CK, and maybe the other production members that'll be at the show will happen to pop in on the interview too. We'll definitely see. But I think this is an unstoppable team, and I don't think Weird World and Philly Marino Experience are going to be able to get a win on them. The Production works very well as a team. They work as one. You don't get that as much with No Consequences, and also, Weird World can work together, PME can work together, but those teams also have to work together. So, Vantage Production.
The Production is a well-oiled machine, And until there's a machine that is on the same page, the way that they're on the same page, I don't see anybody stopping them.
The production has been on, it's very cliche, but they've been on a roll. Literally since they started. We're getting close to a year since they've been around already. So yeah, I'm also going with the production.
And then we have Twins versus Big Twan Tucker and Parker Pierce for the AIW Tag Team Championship. As much as I love Tucker and Pierce together, as much as I want to see Alpha Beta Duke 2, and as much as I want to see 13 Reasons Why, kind of Parker Pierce, but love them, the Twins. I see these guys holding the title for a while.
I may have said this once already, but Twins wins.
I don't think you have. How about you, Kayden?
As you're saying, Twins just won the belts in December. They're not going to lose them yet. They're not letting go of them for a while. Nothing against Parker and Big Twan, but it's not their time yet. Twins are retaining.
All right. That will do it for the review. Or not review, preview. Tomato. One letter difference. The preview of AIW's Enter the Dragon. That will be this Saturday, March 10th, 7:30 bell time at the Tadmor Shrine, 3000 Krebs Drive in Akron, Ohio. General admission tickets are $20, and I have a front row ticket also available for $30. If you want one, hit me up and we can work something out. They are officially sold out, but I have my ticket. My girlfriend was going to come, but she had another thing come up with a family member. I wanted to go do something. I was like, all right, go do that. Like, it's no biggie. I'll find somebody to go. So throwing that out there. If you want to come, you want front row, just hit me up. All right. Any final thoughts or last minute plugs, Dustin?
I will actually be front row for this show.
Holy shit.
It'll be my first time back in
Turner's Hall since they were charging.
No, I sat front row for Absolution 10 and 11.
Oh.
My first time sitting front row since Absolution 11, I think. But yeah, I'll be there. It'll be my baby brother's technically his first official wrestling show. So I'll be there with my father and my brother. So that'll be cool. I'll be back in the front row for a show. As far as finding me, find me on Twitter and on Instagram at RevTintin. I might post something here and there. I don't know. I got to get my social media game needs to really pick itself up. But other than that, you can hear me on Wrestling Cheers from time to time, doing my thing, having a good time. That's about it. That's all I got.
How about you, Kayden?
I will be front row for the show like I am for every AIW show.
That's true.
You'll probably notice me. I'm the loud, annoying one.
I'm the one that's always on my phone and people bitch about it, but I'm like, check Instagram. Go to Wrestling Cheers.
I'm helping.
Yeah. Well, it's like I post the Instagram videos, Instagram stories. Wrestlers love that I do that, and some of them say, hey, send me that. I really like that clip, which is great. And also I feel like in burst, it lets people experience AIW. I try never to put match finishes out there or obviously full matches. And there's a handful of times I might only post 2 for a match, or sometimes none at all. It's okay, you have to buy this if you want to watch this. But normally the more exciting matches I want to throw out there so people get that nice taste of it. But anyway.
Yeah, at KVR216 on pretty much all social media.
Any other plugs?
Anyone in Chicago, I'll be at Shimmer in a month. Find me there.
Yeah, you were pretty on and off about that today.
Yeah, it was a story behind that one. We literally didn't think we'd have enough money to go to that, so we figured that out.
I've got a small plug. If anybody has any great dating advice, like my "Hey bitch, buy my steak," please send it to KVR216. Tag me in it as well, so I can see this great dating advice we can give Kayden. Let's do this, guys. Let's make it so Kayden doesn't have to pay $270 to go on a fake date with somebody.
Oof.
Would you pay $270 to go on a date with that wolf chick?
A real date, not a fake date.
I was asking you, Kayden, because I don't remember her name. Whatever, Wolf.
Yeah.
Of course, you can find myself at Heavyset330 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Once again, if you're adding me on Facebook, just send me a message, let me know. Still getting random ads, and I don't know whether people who listen to the show or just people who want to do random ads. If I see that we have mutual wrestling friends, still don't know why you're adding me. Anyway, and of course, you can find the show also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Facebook.com/WrestlingCheers, Twitter.com/WrestlingCheers, and Instagram.com/WrestlingCheers. Email, if you so choose to desire, WrestlingCheers@gmail.com. And please rate, review, subscribe, follow, whatever on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, Spotify, and Podbean, WrestlingCheers.podbean.com. Check out all the great shows on the Trending Topics Network, such as All Beer Inside, What's on Fight, Your Vision Showcase, Legends on Siren Radio, Old School at the Movies, TTN at the Movies, View from the Fourth Row, and Chill, and the 450 podcast. Check out also some of our podcast friends, such as Chris Clem's Cavscast, Wingcast, a Wingman podcast with Steve Guy, Let the Hate Flow Through You with Jeremy Shear and El Hordano Diablo, Pod Van Dam, The Road Home from Wrestling, weekly wrestling podcast When They Return.
Yeah, I don't know. We're working on that.
Well, I know he's looking for someone to edit the stuff.
I'm not good at that.
I was kind of like, maybe. Because he said, like, have a permanent spot on, or have a spot on the show. And I'm like, I could help you. But it depends on how much editing I'd have to do. I'm a minimal editor, and I feel like the show comes out sounding decent, unless there's something that I can't fix. But normally it's pretty streamlined. Also, check out Thrift Store Jobber on eBay, Instagram, Twitter, and Etsy. Rebel Life Media, NEO Sports Insiders, and of course, check out the official graphic designer of Wrestling Cheers, Moy Boy Designs. That will do it for us here on Wrestling Cheers, where everybody knows your name, and we all know Johnny Cash was a rock and roll singer. Later!
Making your way in the world today takes everything you got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Would you like to get away? Sometimes you wanna go where